Good morning, lovely spirits. It's the wise servant here, Mr. Solace. Peace and wisdom. Now I'm sitting here watching the sunrise as I do every morning. And I want to discuss with you guys as I watch it, this Hebrew Israelite contradiction that was placed upon me. So supposedly I contradicted myself according to this brother named Marcus Price. And he was erratic about his claim that I contradicted myself. He said that I said in a past video that the Hebrew Israelite people and the black people of today are the same. I basically said the black people of today are the Hebrew Israelites. And then in a more recent video I said that the Hebrew Israelite nationality is made up. So he said I contradicted myself when I did that. So I just want to explain this to the brother and any other spirit out there who may have assumed this same thing. And it's a simple thing. I said the name was fake, Israelite. I said the name was made up. I never said the people were made up. Now, the video where I said that black people of today's times are the Hebrew Israelites, I was talking about physical people, flesh and blood, meaning the Hebrew Israelites of that time, they were displaced people. They had no homeland, just like the black people you see of today. So I was saying that the black people of today is the same as those people of that time, the flesh and blood. Not the name. So when I say the name is fake, that has nothing to do with the people. So you can't say you contradicted yourself because you said the Hebrew Israelite name is fake, but you said we are those people. I could tell you, your name is fake and made up. But you like your daddy. And then you be like, oh, how am I like my daddy? You just said I'm fake. I didn't say you was fake. I said your name was fake. So grasp. Jacob was not an Israelite. His name was Jacob. He was given the name Israel later. Named all his kids that. But he himself technically wasn't an Israelite. His daddy, his brothers, his grandfather, nobody prior to him was an Israelite. It was something he made up. Whether the name was given to him by God and made up by God, whatever. But that wasn't the nationality of Jacob or his sons. So, thus my point. The Hebrew Israelite nationality is made up. Like all nationalities and words, and y'all really get lost and y'all think everything is written in stone in the life, you know. Your name is not even real. Your mother made that up, or your father. Somebody made up your name, but it ain't a real. It ain't got nothing to do with who you are. It's just something that was made up to separate you from the next person. So please grasp. In those times in the Bible clearly states they were taking over land and making up nationalities at this point in time that the Bible was speaking of. Men were conquering land and placing names on it. And the people of those lands was that nationality, and the Hebrews weren't up on that new flow of the life. They wasn't up on that yet. They was all displaced. They still viewed themselves as one with all. And they mingled around. So Jacob was just one of the first of the displaced to name all his descendants so that they wouldn't have to be displaced and they could be a part of the system, so to say. In the system, you have to have a name and things like this. So things were just getting systemized, land getting conquered, cities being built, things becoming systemized. You got to have a name, you got to be like this, and then that's so. This is how all that come about. But the nationality is fake, and it's clear as day. If the brother wasn't so lost in his emotions of his religious beliefs, then you would clearly see that I made no contradiction and nothing I said is wrong. And nothing I teach is an evil, negative spirits, because he said I was the devil and all this crazy stuff. Now, I don't care if he calls me the devil because I know what that means in real life. But the word devil is not what bothers me. What bothers me is that when he called me the devil, he was insulting me for no reason. He views devil as bad. So when he called me that, he was trying to insult me. And that's where I took offense, because I'm like, you're insulting me, placing contradictions on me because you don't understand, because your mind is scrambled up. I didn't say nothing the Bible didn't say. I didn't make up nothing. I'm just explaining to you what y'all clearly want to avoid. Jacob wasn't born Jacob. You say, oh, well, you said names is all made up. Okay, then. So you make my point then. It's made up. But like I said, Jacob wasn't born Israel. Case closed. Like, how do you need to have a debate or an argument or this? You see, Captain Tazariak didn't take the debate with me, right? Because what do you say to that? What is he going to rewrite the Bible? It's clear as day. Y'all just didn't notice that. And it's alright. That's why I brought it up. I didn't bring it up for y'all to get angry and want to argue and feel like I'm against you and relax. I'm just telling you something in the Bible that you clearly just, for some reason, you don't notice. You don't notice that Jacob wasn't born Israel. The nationality, Israelites, it all has to do with Jacob's name, Israel, which is not his real name. You know that. He got beat up by somebody and he was given that name. The Bible refers to that person as the Lord. He got beat up by the Lord and was given the name Israel as a blessing, a nickname, whatever you want to call it. And he named all his descendants that as their nationality. But we all know that wasn't their nationality. Grass. It was just a made-up name. All Jacob's sons, not all of them, but a lot of them were mixed, meaning they didn't have the same mother. So you have to grasp. I have 2 children. They don't have the same mother. Therefore, if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't know that they were one. Same with Jacob's kids. You got mixed kids. This one's with this mother, that one. You got to grasp. Jacob wasn't a housewife. So if he had a kid over here and a kid over there, you got to grasp. No different to the daytimes. So it's a simple, deep thing. He's just trying to get all his children and their descendants after them to never forget that they're one. That was the whole point of the story. That was the whole point of him doing that. It wasn't for people in today's times to get lost and say, oh, we're Hebrew Israelites then, since we don't have a nationality. You're supposed to use the story to inspire yourself and say, we're like those people, and here's an example of what we're supposed to do, or what we're not supposed to do, whichever way you choose to view it. But the moral of the story in the Bible is, name yourself. Black people today running around calling themselves African Americans and Africans and all these lies and half-truths. Because when you call yourself an African, that's a half of a truth. Because you have more than just African to your ancestry. So it's a deep thing. This is my point. The moral of the story of the Bible was, you just name yourself at some point. But it's like I said, the black people, we're a baby race in today's times. We're the new race. The mixing of what happened in the past 400 years. So we're like a new race that came out of all of that confusion. And this is why we move the way we do, and we don't have no sense of oneness. We don't have any sense of oneness. We kind of like go against one another like children do. If there's no adults present, children will just fight one another. You gotta, when they get older, they learn how to play together and work together and things like this. And if you look at the black race, it's like I said, we're a new race. So we just haven't even gotten to the point where we named ourselves. And stories in the Bible, if you're not so lost into religion, you can use them as examples of things you can do in your life. You can use it as inspiration. But as far as getting lost, saying, oh, we're this people from them times and that times, this is just what religion does to people. It makes them make no sense in life. No one from AD times is tied to any person from BC times, because there was a gap between that time. Every 3,000 or 6,000 years, I forgot the exact number, but every 3,000 to 6,000 years, the sun doesn't rise for a pretty long period of time. And it's just darkness on the earth. Let's say, I'm just giving an example, for a year straight. It's just darkness, no day, no night, which is night. And men lose track of time during this time. It's a lot of chaos going on. Just imagine if the sun didn't rise tomorrow. People would think the earth or life was about, it's a deep thing, but this is all astrology. Our planet, our star, it goes through certain different places in space, different environments of space as it's moving through its journey. And some of these environments, they're made of different substance. Some substances are dark in hue. But if you're just a man on earth looking, you like, oh, the sun ain't rising and the earth is about to be over. And so between 1 BC and 1 AD, because we know men in the past don't keep time backwards. You don't go 1 BC, 1 AD. So, right, something happened in 1 AD is when men begin to keep track of time again. But prior to 1 AD, it was not 1 BC. It was just a gap where men had no day-night system. It was just chaotic. And this is why I say no one from AD times is tied to anyone from BC times, because you have to clear out that gap. And this is my point. People reach for the past, and it's like, I don't understand why. The past is the past, now is now. You use the past as an example. You don't get lost in it and start making crazy claims like, I'm a Kemetic priest, or I'm a Hebrew Israelite. You don't do this. What are you talking about? You have to grasp. Whoever the Hebrew Israelites was of that time, I'm sure by now they would have been so mixed and mingled, more in with more races, being as though they never got their own land, all the way to now times. You would have to think, how much more mixed and mingled did them people become from that time to now? Exactly. So how you like, oh, we the Hebrew Israelites from the past? Man, please, get real. Black people of today ain't barely black people anymore. Because we mix with different races. Chinese people, some black men have Chinese wives, some have white wives, some have Spanish wives, etc., etc. So you just get new races stemming all about you. That's why I said the nationality thing is truly fake, because all the races of the past bring about the ones you see in the now. So it's a deep thing, but y'all just have to stop acting like everything that we have in the life. Y'all need to get real and start realizing all this stuff is made up. One man named a thing this, and other men went with it. You speak your language that was given to you. Stop acting like the life made this language up and, oh no, this is right and this is wrong. This is why y'all don't learn nothing. Because y'all get lost in that. A brother will say, oh, you're wrong, Silas. This is right. He clearly forgets that's just another man what another man said. And you saying that I'm wrong because that other man's teaching say otherwise, you're not qualified to do that because you're just a follower. You can't tell me I'm wrong because he said something else. You can only say I'm wrong because of what you said, not what you agree on, but the root of the thing. Who started this thing that you believe in, that you're saying I'm wrong? Get that person. And this is my point. Everybody's such a follower, they don't even realize they don't qualify. I have my own teachings. If you don't have your own teachings and you've adopted someone else's, meaning Christianity, Islam, etc., etc., y'all didn't make these things up. Y'all followed them. This is someone else's understanding, not yours. So when you tell me I'm wrong, grasp. You make no sense. You're not qualified because you're just a follower of what he said. So it's deep. People get upset because they follow these religions and they take it as if I'm speaking against the gods. But you have to grasp, I didn't tell you anything bad to do. I don't tell people to kill or do none of this. I tell y'all to take account of the things y'all are doing. So I teach all goodness in my message. There's no evil teachings like you should do this or that. But the brother called me a devil. Mind you, in his religious beliefs, the God in there tells people to murder and do all types of things that's not morally right. But I'm the devil because I don't agree with what your God said. Even though what I'm saying morally ain't bad. However you slice it. He's telling people that they're not supposed to eat because that's life. Morally, that's not bad, however you cut it. You're just selfish. So you like, I want to eat. But nothing I teach is morally bad. So there's no need for anyone to get lost and mad and say, oh, that's the devil. How? According to what we know as the devil and what we know as evilness, your God is that, not me. He told them to kill and all this weird stuff. I didn't say nothing about none of that. So what are you talking? It's just weird to me. Y'all play so many contradictions on me that don't make no sense. Grasp. If I say we the Hebrew Israelite people of the past, and then I explain to you the commons in that, meaning they were displaced, they had no homeland, we're the same thing because the life repeats itself, and that young man in your neighborhood remind you of this fella, and that young man in your neighborhood remind you of this OG, and so the life is repeating. So if I say that we're the Hebrews of the past, I'm saying that name because that's the only name y'all know them by. If I say we them ancient peoples of the past, y'all gonna say which one? So, mind you, I'm talking about flesh and blood. We are those people according to the description of them. Not according to the fake name they got. When I say Hebrew Israelite nationality fake, I'm talking about the name. I clearly explained that in the video. I broke down how the name is fake. I never said in the video one time Jacob is fake. Judah is fake. I said the name was fake and made up, which the Bible says. Lest Jacob would have been born Israel, straight out the womb. So you have to grasp. There was no contradiction. People just don't understand the simplest things like subject matter. I'm talking about a name in one video, and in the other video I'm talking about flesh and blood people. And somehow he receives that as when I say the Hebrew Israelite nationality is fake, that I'm talking about flesh and blood people are fake. Even though I clearly explain how the name is fake. It's a weird, deep thing I just don't understand. It's just like when people say, well, was in the past. People say, man, you contradict yourself. You say we can't learn from books, but you sell books. You write books. When I said y'all can't learn from books, y'all continue to read books and say, Solace, what's a good book to read? Mine. Since this is what y'all want to do, after I clearly said, you're not going to learn nothing from no book. You got to learn from the life so you can grasp the book. He's contradicting himself because he sells books. I didn't come selling books. I came telling you what I told you. And you paid me no mind. But you still asked me for knowledge and wisdom. So I sit here. As opposed to me telling you, here, read this brother's book and that brother's book, which would be pointless. I just said you can't learn from books. So as opposed to me giving you another person's words and thoughts on paper, I give you my own. Like any wise man would do. I can't tell you how to learn. I can only give you advice. You're not going to learn anything reading no book unless you know things yourself. Now, if you want to keep reading books, here. I can't tell you you can't read. So rise. I ain't contradicting myself. Y'all just in scrambled brain thoughts. Y'all reach for this. That's the problem. Let the contradiction just gradually be. Y'all reach. Remember this video 2 years ago when you completely ignore subject matter? You completely ignore that. You didn't even watch the video. Somebody actually told you I contradicted myself, and you didn't really examine none of this. You just went with it and jumped out the window and said, yeah, Silas, you contradicted yourself, blah, blah, blah. And you never put any thought into what you're saying. Watching half a video, putting your foot in your mouth. Most of the contradictions y'all say, it's a matter of y'all don't think. It's like the book. It's like the Hebrew Israelite. Y'all are not thinking. Y'all are just jumping and say I contradicted myself. Like I said, Let it happen clear as day. If you gotta reach for it, it's a 9 times out of 10 it ain't there. Like this brother, I'm sure he like in his mind, I know I got him. How can he swindle his way out of that? It's nothing to swindle my way out of, because you just don't, your like, brain is scrambled. You're not grasping. I'm talking about a name is fake, not people. So when I say we are the Hebrew Israelite people of the past, I'm talking about flesh and blood people, according to their description. We have that same description for ourselves. Right. That was the subject matter of that video that I did a year ago or 2 years ago. That was the subject matter. That the description of the two people is still the same, and how the life just revolves. And then when I did the Hebrew Israelite nationality is fake, I explained in the whole video how the name that Jacob named them was fake, and for some reason he can't see, like, the subjects don't even go together, and this is why you're confused. And a lot of you guys do this a lot. Y'all mix and merge videos that don't even got nothing to do with one another. It's just the wording. You like, oh, that word is the same, so it's a contradiction. And you gotta have some sense of intellect. Like, get real. Think a minute before you just jump and place contradictions on people. Because then if I shoot it down in a negative manner, the way you came, then y'all get lost and say, oh, that's ego, and it's only because you're wrong. And you realize, like, oh, yeah, I was dumb that I did, but now you mad. And it's a deep thing. I haven't contradicted myself on anything. The problem is I just discuss a lot of things y'all truly have no wisdom on in a true perspective of what it is. And that's the problem. So you see contradictions. I'll be speaking about the darkness, and the brother will get lost and say, man, you said the darkness was this in the past video, and his perspective of the subject matter that I'm speaking of. All things is one. If a man tell you all knowledge is one knowledge, all thing is one thing, which I clearly say all the time. And then I pull from the different things to explain things, and you say you're contradicting yourself. If he just said everything is one thing and y'all got it separate, and he pulled from this thing that's opposite of that thing, yet he said they all one thing, like, y'all scramble your own minds up. Y'all got night and day as opposites. They're one thing, a day. Light is just darkness. Darkness is light. If you spread out darkness, expand it, it'll get light, lighter and lighter, until it's completely diluted of darkness and it's light. Darkness is light transmuted. Light is darkness transmuted. Meaning, if you condense light and squeeze it to the light, it's just a speck, and squeeze it and condense it, it will be darkness. Plain common sense. Darkness and light, same thing. One is condensed into a different form and perception, and the other hasn't been transmuted yet. And so it's the same with everything in the life. Everything is just a manifestation or an aspect of one thing, and y'all have things so separated that it interferes with y'all thinking and like making sense when y'all place contradictions on people. Just grasp my intellect, no ego, but my intellect is a little more, it's a little farther beyond the realms of things y'all able to even grasp yet. So I don't want you to feel like, oh, I'm not saying I'm smarter than y'all. I'm saying something even deeper than that. Things y'all haven't even begun to think on. Realms of conscious y'all haven't even begun to tap into and think on. A lot of the things I teach is from that aspect, and this is the problem. Y'all get lost fast. Y'all still at separate stage where you see day and night, and this thing is separate from that thing, and God and devil are separate, and they got beef, and y'all still in that child-minded perspective of understanding. I'm at another level of conscious where all is one, just transmuted into its own individual way in a perspective. So Day and night is one thing. They just manifest different. And everything has to do with condensing. So it's a deep thing. I don't even know if this helps, because people be so stuck in their ways. They want to be right, no matter even when they clearly be wrong. I done knocked down every contradiction that been thrown at me that sound like it was so good, and I got solace. Give it a rest, please. Just give it a rest, unless you have a good, solid contradiction. No one does. Trust me. It's a matter of you haven't included subject matter. You haven't included that I'm teaching from a conscious that you ain't even grasping yet. It's just a lot of things y'all don't add into the perspective. Y'all add all the things y'all want to see as contradicting into the perspective, but you don't ever think outside of that and say, hold on, he's wiser than me, so let me try to look at it from his perspective to see if he's truly contradicting himself, or I just ain't grasping. And as the brother Marcus Price can see, it's you, my brother. You're not grasping subject matter. I wasn't talking about the Hebrew Israelite people, the physical flesh and blood people. I didn't say they were fake. I said the name, the nationality. I said that was fake. Grasp.